once again, and welcome to The Vocal Mind. Welcome back. Here is a podcast where we talk about education, we talk about life, we talk about what we learn and how it impacts our world today and how it impacts what we do each day. Today, I am honored to be sitting across from four beautiful ladies. We're doing an impromptu podcast. We have Annalisa, who is a health expert, she's a linguist, and she's many more things. We have Simone, who again is a linguist and a businesswoman. I'm not 100% sure what you do on your business front. And these other two beautiful ladies, who I have not yet known enough to introduce. So go ahead.
Yes, I'm a mom. I'm Laura. I'm 46 and a project manager.
Amazing.
In the art.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm 50. I am a mom of two girls, and I am a consultant.
Beautiful. And I am Tirzah. I am a long-time educator and a businesswoman and have opened Connect Hub, where we're sitting today, which is a co-working and a co-study space. Today we were talking about what we're going to talk about, as it's an impromptu podcast. But we're going to focus on business, and we're going to focus on how, as women, we're getting older, we know more, we're more skilled, we have more friends, we have more money, but we have a heck of a lot less energy. And lots of other things that get in the way of what we used to know our bodies to be, right?
Correct.
So I don't really have a huge agenda or any big questions other than, what's your experience on what I've just said? Anybody can speak.
Okay, this is Annalisa. Thank you for having me here. So for me, it was like, it is actually like very important to take care of yourself, of your health, more now than ever. When you're 20, you think you're immortal. So you think that nothing can happen to you. You have a different, very different way of seeing life and time. But the more you get wiser, let's say, not older, but wiser, the more a lot of things change, your perspective, your point of view, and your body. So it's just a matter of not trying to be like you were when you were 20 or 30, but adapting and accepting your new condition. So it might be that you have less energy, so try to sleep more, try to do more things that make you recharge your batteries. You are more stressed because when you are young, you don't have responsibilities. When you are a mother, a businesswoman, a wife, a partner, whatever, you have tons of responsibility. So try to, and that's something that is very hard for women, try to kind of have a little space where you are the center of that moment, which is something very hard for women. So for me, this is what I've been trying, and I still try to do, to make sure that every little step of my life is a moment where I can thrive. I can do the best with what I have.
I think for me, one of the big things I've found is almost like shame on myself, or perhaps hating on myself because I can't do the things I used to be able to do so easily. The biggest one that's affecting me, I'm still not yet 50, but I'm only about 18 months away. The thing that's affecting me is my memory. I used to be able to just have my to-do list in my head. And I never wrote anything down. I had this weird thing that if I wrote it down, it was done. So I never did. It was just always on a roll. And now, from the car to the front door of my office, the list of 8 things that I had thought I was going to do that morning are literally gone. Yeah. Gone.
Yeah.
Very true.
Very true.
Yeah? Do you resonate with that?
Absolutely. And I just find myself leaning on paper and pencil, my calendar, just anything like that to continue to keep track of all of those things. Because even conversations that I have, I used to be able to remember a lot of things that my team members shared with me, for the group I manage, and now I have to really diligently take notes so I remember to follow up with somebody afterwards and don't forget that they told me that they were going on vacation or where they're going, and it's just harder. There's a little bit more fog.
It really is strange.
I'm tired, which is all the time. So,
yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, the tiredness probably is getting to me more too. And I was always very active in the gym. I'd go at least every morning. an hour. And obviously setting up a business and moving countries and stuff, it's lessened my time to do that. But the fatigue that I'm feeling is just insane. And then on top of it, struggling to remember stuff, I just feel like I should really just retire and sit by a pool.
We are not any closer yet.
But we can't do that yet.
Yeah, I think for me the major struggle in a way at this age is that still in productive age,
Yes.
but with a lot of demands instead of responsibilities, because it's still caring for a young child, but still also got aging parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's caring for a young child, but also for aging parents that are far away, but you still have to care for them. And on top of that, you have to be so productive, you still have to work. So, but also the body is also aging and going through all of this. So yeah, it's a lot on our plate as a kind of modern working woman.
Really is, and there's a lot that we carry. Is such a lot that we carry. Yeah.
So the way I see as a health coach and nutritional coach, so food is very important. I mean, the way I see it is that there's two types of foods in our life. There's the primary food and the secondary food. The primary food is your different areas of your life. It seems silly, but it's really the way it is. It means that your relationships, your working environment, your house, everything has to be nutritious. So you have to feed yourself of positive energy there, because that's the basis. The secondary food is what you put in your mouth. So if the primary food is bad, if there's imbalance there, or there's something going on that is not the right thing, the secondary food is ineffective. So you can eat as healthy as you want, but if the primary food is not okay, the secondary food is not doing its job.
That's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful point.
Which means that, for example, one thing that I push also, because I'm a personal trainer, is like you have to exercise. The more wiser you turn, the more you have to exercise, because your body can stay young only if you help it, because you lose weight, you lose muscle, you lose bone density, you lose a lot of things because your body is changing. Is it bad? No, it's natural. So you don't have to take drugs or, like hormones or such things, because if it was necessary, the nature would have given you that. So it's just a matter of going through the transition in an organic way, following yourself. Not what anybody tells you, not the nutritionist, the psychologist, whatever. Just follow, your flow with...
And I think in that point where you're saying it's natural and it happens, it's about being kind to yourself and saying it's okay. It's okay to not feel as, Superman as you used to. And it's okay to allow your body to need more time to sleep or stay at home, or maybe, lay in the arms of your partner, the primary food thing. I mean, that's really, really, really amazing way you've put that. I've not heard that before. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, I'm definitely a person that flagellates myself in regard to the perfectionist and, do it the best that you can and don't allow yourself to be weak that day. But now the body is just saying, ha, 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 ha. So much for your perfectionism. There's no way you're going to say something.
I know, it's comical because I, in my head, don't feel like I'm 50 years old. I still think I'm like 20 and trying to figure out what I want to do with my life.
That's right.
And I forget. And then I have daughters who want to do a cartwheel, and I'm like, oh, I can do a cartwheel. And then I pull a muscle, and it's like, oh, what was I thinking?
That's right.
So it's a little bit of, having to accept there's a little bit of difference between what's going on in my head and what my body is telling me.
Yeah. And because I personally, I had kids super young. So my children were all born by the time I was 24. And I have 3. So I kind of grew up with them. So I was always used to just being as active, as strong, as, physically fit as them. Until one day, oh my goodness, we were on the beach once. And my daughter said, Mom, let's have a race. She was 14. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I race her and she beats me. And I was like, what? What? Nobody beats me in a race.
Yeah.
And then, it's just by and by all that time since then, you see that your body is just not able to do the things it used to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think also I used to be, hi, it's Simone here. I used to be, when I was younger, an athlete. I was training, was running half marathon. And I keep telling my daughter, let's go running and think, but I realize at the end of the day, I don't have the energy anymore. I know I should be eating more healthy and I try, but then in between rushing business hours from one job to the next or picking up the daughter, sometimes you have situations where you just have to eat something quick. Yeah, we try to work out. Yeah, we have phases where we continuously do it, but then after a while it falls back to reality. We have to rush here, we have to rush there, and then you always tell yourself, "Oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that," but at the end of the day, we don't do it because literally, at this very moment in my life, I don't have time for it.
Well,
And
I
at
think
end
the
of
lesson
day,
that
I'm so tired
yeah.
that thinking about me now going running, and I cannot because now I've gained so much weight. So now first lose the weight to go running because then it will be easier. So it's like this circle to get out from is very hard.
I think to me what I'm hearing is that we as women have to love ourselves more.
Yeah.
Because if we're not the best that we can be, we're not going to be able to continue to do all those things we're busy with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's got to be the answer. We
But
have to take time.
How do you break it? Like if the end of the day you're so tired, you literally fall to bed. You don't have the energy to do sport. I do go for a walk, and I try to set an appointment with friends. Let's do this 3 times a week. Let's go hiking on a weekend. Yeah, but it's only occasional thing. It's not on a regular basis. Only when it somehow fits in or nothing comes in between. Yeah.
Because you don't want to. Because we women, we tend to have,
it's not that I don't want to, because I hate the fact that I've gained weight the last couple of years, and it was slowly, let's say a kilo a year, which you hardly notice. But after 10 years, it's 10 kilos. After 20 years, it's 20 kilos. And now you realize the body's changing faster. You don't lose weight easily.
Oh, no.
It's not that you don't want it. I really want it. I just don't know how to put that into my life.
Into the diary, yeah.
It's long working hours.
You're going to say?
Responsibilities.
Sorry for interruptions, but exactly the same mindset as you. I totally get it. Like the motivation is hard. What I have worked for me in the last year is that I go to 2 sessions a week in the park with a group that is similar age. And we are on the same boat, and that actually is the only thing I have been able to stick to, because I know it's those 2 days a week. I even work meetings, I already scheduled that no one can interrupt it, I spoke with my line manager about it. I said I need this to keep same.
So what
this
time
is
do
the
you
only
do this?
2 hours in the week. So I do a 9:30 to 10:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that I put as a priority. I say I don't care anymore. This is for me is as important as any other meeting, and I know this is a privilege where I'm coming from, but equally it's something I put forward as that this is my priority in life. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a good worker. You're not gonna have a good mom. You're not gonna have a good partner or co-parent or. So I used to be exactly the same. I found it so difficult to go, but what it helped me was to make sure it was in the calendar, and it was, of course, there are moments in life where you go on holiday or something happens and you kind of do it. But I stick to it, but I also find a group that I felt connected with, and a trainer that also was a bit like-minded, that understood that we are all very middle-aged, that we all, not trying to push you into a kind of the wrong corner, but kind of like make it fun, and that's the only thing I've been able to stick to. But before that, it was the same. I always prioritize everything else and try to squeeze it around it, and it's not good. But it's possible. It's just that I think you have to slot it in, and that's it.
I tried many times to slot something in. I even agreed with a neighbor to go walking every now and then 2 to 3 times a week. It lasted for about 2 weeks, and then slowly life gets back, and my daughter needs me. She hasn't seen me all day. She needs me. being sick, kids are sick, single mom, I cannot just like go, oh sorry, do you be sick and I'm go running. It's just not happening.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
I'm a separated
And then you
mom
fall
as well,
back
so-
into the life, and then to get out again and say, okay, let's pick up and do it again. It's very hard because then life has you back. Yeah. So this is a very, very step. Not everybody is the same. Some people have other circumstances, and it's easier for you to escape. Yeah. Or some people, I have colleagues of mine that get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go running. I'm not that early morning person. I cannot. I try. Sometimes I wake up 3 o'clock and then I fall back into sleep at 4. And I was thinking, should I go running? Then
Not at 3, no.
Not. So I know it's not. It sounds like an excuse, but it's not. It's the theory and then how to put it into practice that it really works long term.
I agree, and it took me ages
Yeah.
to get there. And as you say, it's true. In my case, I'm co-parenting, so it's like I go weeks that I don't have my daughter. But in a way, I think even if it's just 10 minutes for yourself, 10 minutes during the lunchtime, that's it. Just put it in the calendar. I mean, you have to actually write it down in the calendar, and it goes an alarm, and it tells you, even if it's just to breathe for like
And
20 seconds.
I
and-
find that when I stop and do exercise, it makes me more productive in the other things. And if you put it in your actual working day, not on the outskirts where you have to do all the stuff that you can't get away from. You know, like, okay, well, I have to, that's what I did when I was a parent. Now I am still a parent, obviously, but they are parenting themselves quite well and about to parent another one. Oh, I'm going to be a grandma. But I had to do it during my working day because otherwise you can't, because you have to be a mum. You have to be a friend and a wife and all the other stuff. And I had to say, my work has to wait. The emails are always going to be there. The meetings are always going to be there, you know, between 7 and 8 in the morning. That's my time for me. But it's tough, you know, it is tough. It's a tough thing. But I think the more we do it, like you were saying, even if it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's a really good strategy. You know, just before I eat lunch, I'm going to take 20 minutes. I'm going to do some exercise, or I'm going to do some meditation, or I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to help me feel physically well. So then...
Two things. One is that it makes it fun, and I think it's really helpful if you can find something that you enjoy doing. I just got back into Pilates, and so I actually like the reformer, and so now I kind of want to go, which has made it easier. But I also think we always think of these things as like huge changes that we have to make and set these lofty goals, but it's the incremental changes. And I just finished this book, Atomic Habits, about layering in
Yes, I read that.
things.
So brilliant.
Like, just even if it's just all I'm going to do for next week is just put on my sneakers and that's it. That's the next step, because sometimes if you take that step, you'll be more inclined to go for the walk for 10 minutes.
That's right.
So if you can build on those incremental victories and whatever it is that works for you. I'm struggling as well. Pilates is new for me, and I have good weeks and bad weeks, and then again, it's giving ourselves grace. And like, I only went once last week because I wasn't feeling well, or they ran out of classes, but this week I'm going 3 times, and that's okay. So don't let one miss be the cascade.
Yes. And giving yourself the credit for the stuff that you did do well, and being kind to yourself. It's really a big lesson for me. I'm not good at being kind to myself. I was never allowed to be as a child. My parents are very religious. So there was a lot of punishment and shame, and you have to be perfect and all of that. So it still kind of chips away at me a little bit. And I'm learning bit by bit that actually the only person that's kindest to you is yourself, And the more kind you are to yourself, the more you allow other people to be kind to you, and the more that you can give then to other people. So that's...
One thing that I found, for example, with myself, because we women, the society and the education, no matter where we come from, but in general, the woman has to be the perfect wife, first the perfect daughter, then the perfect wife or partner, whatever, the perfect mother, the perfect worker, and we have to do 1,000 things all at the same time, and we are expected. But that's what I got. I'm Italian, so I come also from a religious country. Luckily, my mother was not so into religion, so she gave me an open mind, but still, it's there. So I came to a point where I was kind of like talking about parenting, right? I have a partner, so my husband's there, and I'm pretty sure that being a single parent, it's a hard work. It is being a parent with a partner, so single must be really a huge work. But anyway, it's not supposed to be an excuse, it's a different situation. But the thing is that I remember that whenever I was like shouting at my daughter, I'm against punishing or all these things. So whenever I was having a reaction that kind of was like similar to the reactions that my mother had to me, I was kind of like, like punishing myself, like, oh yeah, I'm the worst mother, this and that. And that was very bad because that was creating a negative vibe about myself, and everything was kind of messed up with. My daughter was feeling, everything was bad. So little by little, I started to like give myself the pep talk and say, you know what, you're human. And I was telling the same thing to my daughter. Whenever I was acting in a way that afterward, I realized it was not the right one, I was kind of, please forgive me. And I was kind of seeing myself as human, as imperfect, as someone who fails. He's not, and it was so liberating. It is still, it costs, it's an effort sometimes because it's ingrained in you that you have to be the Wonder Woman. But when you do it and you talk to the person in front of you and you tell the person, I'm sorry, but I'm human and I need my moment. It's not being selfish. We women think that if I go for a run, but I have my daughter at home, or she's sick, or I do whatever, and then I'm selfish. I can't, because she has to be the priority. But what happens if I get sick? My daughter doesn't get her mom, my husband, and everything falls down. So the saying, happy wife, happy life, is very true in my opinion. That's why we have to...
And those 20 minutes that mean so much to us...
Yes.
Actually are very irrelevant to those who are waiting, right? Because I think we get into a wheel where we feel we always have to be present. I know I've really had to fight that with my business too. I have to be here, I have to be here, I have to be here. Actually, I can step back. It'll be there when I come back so that I'm ready to be the best I can be when I get back. So
we feel without us, things cannot happen. But in reality,
they carry right
if
on.
we disappear tomorrow, everything is going to carry on anyway. Our kids, our families. So, we just have to feel less weight on our shoulders. How do you do that? You do, like you said, you do something that you like. So, work out. Is it walking? Is it dancing? Is it whatever it is? Find something that you like. Take those 10 minutes. I train women. And they always come to me, I don't have time, today I can't, tomorrow I can't. They come and they do 1 hour of training and they want to feel at the end like they are dead because that makes them feel that they've done something. And I always say 10 minutes per day. Before you go to the shower, you do a couple of squats or a couple of exercises for your abs and it's already good. In the morning I'm not really a yoga expert, I'm a yoga teacher also, but I'm more fitness. So I like the hard stuff. But in the morning I started like a couple of months ago to do 20 minutes of yoga movements. And it's like, it's like your body starts to move, the energy, the heat, everything. Did it change my day? Not really, but a little bit, yes. And I feel that when I don't do it, something is missing. So the more we do, we start with 10 minutes, then your body will tell you, go for 15, go for 20, because the better you feel, the more you want to do that thing.
That's it.
So it's just a matter of starting, girl. We have to think for ourselves, and the world, in my opinion, will be a better place.
So
It's hard.
It's hard, and finding the thing you like is not the thing you used to like. Yeah, because now I cannot run 10Ks anymore.
But you can walk until you can run again.
I do. It's not that I'm not moving. Yeah, I walk like everywhere I walk. But it's the workout. With 10 minutes a day, it's not enough done. I get up in between breaks, in between meetings, do some stretches, I think. But it's not enough to lose weight and to become this fitness level. And sometimes I wonder, will I ever get this energy again that I used to have? And maybe not, maybe, yeah. But it's also like realizing, the change you go through. And today I saw the guys playing tennis. I thought, I would love that. But if I get hurt by the tennis ball or even running out of the tennis ball, I say like, I'm not at this fitness level. Yeah. So trying to find something that I like. Going to a yoga class, now I'm not as flexible as I used to be. So it's going to be embarrassment poor if I go to yoga. Also, it's extra time. You have to go to the class, which takes time. You have to pay for it, extra cost.
There's
you have to work for
internet,
it.
there's YouTube, there's plenty of free videos. We don't have that excuse anymore.
But being with other people is that what motivates you
community
instead of doing a
helps.
video.
Also for me, it's about understanding how the body works, because the workouts or the exercise you used to do when you were 25, 30, it should be different to what you're doing now.
Exactly.
And that's where I'm a little bit in the sense that even though I'm working out, I'm aware it might not the best exercise I could be doing for my body right now. Mm-hmm. So also that for me is the next step is to figure out at my age with the hormonal changes what is more efficient, because running maybe is not the best anyways in terms of workout. Or the foods as well that you take. And so I think that, but there's a lot of information, there's a lot out there, but equally what happened is just I spend so much time in front of a laptop or a computer that I don't want my free time to also have to see a screen to tell me what to do to be better. So I get as well where you're coming from.
Yeah. That's why we are here.
Yeah.
Let me share briefly one secret. Because I've always been skinny, I've always done a lot of sports, and now that I am 51 and I've been in menopause, menopause, officially you are menopause when you have 1 year without your period. So it's been 3 years almost for me, and all the symptoms and all of that. And I found that I've always had quite a fast metabolism, so I've never put on that much weight. But I found that recently I was eating up, and I put on like 4 kilos, and I was like, what, am I breathing fat? Am I breathing calories? Because I'm doing exactly the same, eating exactly the same way, and it's not working. My skin, my body changing, and I'm trying to accept it. I'm teaching others to accept it. I'm still struggling with it, so it's a struggle that we share all the women. But anyway, I said, okay, we have to do something about it, because every time I was getting and trying to see my weight, I was like, this is a nightmare, what's going on with my body? So I adopted one thing. First, reduce as much as you can sugar. Sugar is the enemy of kids, of everyone. But of women in our age, since our metabolism is changing, sugar is really the enemy. It does affect your sleeping, your sleep, and we know that when you get to a menopause, sleep is kind of a little bit messed up with. So and sleep is so important. It's even more important than food sometimes. So sleep is needed. So I did what am I going to do? So reduce sugar, reduce gluten. And I'm Italian, ladies. So take away pasta from me, it's like taking away a hand from me. But still I said, okay, let's reduce it more and more and more. And the good thing that worked, intermittent fasting. So
I've done that a few times actually.
Don't
it's very
have
refreshing.
dinner. I was watching my husband and my daughter having wonderful pasta and all those things that I love. My husband likes to punish me a little bit, but I said, no, I'm not having dinner. Hungry and everything.
Guys, can they use... Oh crap, are you recording?
We are.
Can they use the smart board?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, sorry.
But I found that after 2 months, normally if I didn't have dinner before, next day 1 kilo less. So it was like, for me, losing weight was like immediate. Now it took me almost 2 months and I lost 2 kilos. Just reducing sugar, eating more or less, like I did not before when I was 30, before in 3 years or 4 years ago, but with the intermittent fasting, I fixed the sleeping thing, the heat and all those, and waking up and looking at up and say, what am I going to do now? It doesn't happen anymore. I sleep much better and I wake up much better. So that's maybe something that you can try to use, not maybe every day, but from time to time during the week. Just don't have dinner. We are in Spain. Here you have dinner at what? They have dinner at 10 o'clock. It's totally unhealthy.
Yes. I mean, for me, what works more practically is the skipping breakfast. So I do have a small dinner, but then the breakfast is kind of natural because anyway, the morning is a rush to get the kid out of the house, and so by the time I come back, it's already like 10 or 11, and that's for me actually is working really well.
The intermittent fasting, you can choose which side of the day you don't eat.
Time of the hours. So
That's
for
it.
me,
It's just
instead of
16 hours
practical,
off,
That's the easiest in
8
a way.
hours on.
Depends also, for example, if you wake up and you are not hungry, that's perfect. For me, is if I wake up and I don't have breakfast within an hour, I fall down. So for me, breakfast is the key.
Yeah.
So it depends on everyone.
So this has been a wonderful conversation, but we're coming to the end of our time for the vocal.